I'm Mark.
I'm Domino.
And welcome to Rock City. Tonight we got some great music news for you.
We also have Hitting the Streets with a new release from Dio.
And Black Sabbath just released their first album in 38 years called 13. We're going to talk about that.
So make sure you check us out on Elysium.com.
And follow us on Twitter. And welcome back. It is time for music news. The first thing we have is a new book from Corey Taylor. And it's coming out later on this year. I think it's July 16th. It's called A Funny Thing Happened on My Way to Heaven. And I think the entertaining thing is, where his other book, Seven Deadly Sins, was kind of like his take on stuff growing up. This is him, out of all things, going and following ghost hunters. And kind of see if they're like legit or not.
Which, you know, you can probably find some interesting things along the way. All the skeptics that
exactly
don't buy into any of that nonsense.
Right. And I think a lot of people out there don't, but there's a big chunk of people that do with all the shows today.
Yes.
And so I think it should be a pretty interesting take on how he feels about it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
And moving on, we've got Black Sabbath with their new album, 13.
Fantastic.
It's actually top of the charts in the UK right now. It's been 43 years since Black Sabbath has been on the top of the charts in the UK.
Which just blows me away, because that's their home base.
That's where they started.
How can they only have Paranoid as that? I mean, that was their second album. I mean, all their other albums, I can't believe, just kind of fell to the wayside as far as being top of the charts. And it took this to come back. And so, but
That's what they needed. They're projected to sell between 120 and 130,000 copies here in the States.
That's crazy. I mean, if you look at the charts every week, if a band sells over 20,000, that's considered a success.
Absolutely.
So having them sell like way over 100 grand, that's awesome, and good for them.
Absolutely.
I was one of them that bought that. The 120 and 1,000.
All right, what else do we have?
Metal Church. It's kind of a band that kind of got mixed. They didn't really make it big. They're from San Francisco. They kind of got lumped in with the whole Bay Area metal group, more metal scene when Metallica was around, and Testament and Exodus, but they just didn't become on the forefront. And then they had some problems when their singers had passed away. I think he had cancer or something similar to that. But they regrouped with another lead singer. But they haven't done anything in quite a few years. So they're putting out a new CD later this year, and it's kind of exciting. I like them. In the Dark is a great album. If you haven't heard In the Dark, it is fantastic.
Alrighty. Other news, Tesla recorded a new song called Taste My Pain during a 2-day recording session in Sacramento. Nice. It's going to be on a forthcoming album this summer. So, expected to release 2014.
Man, I can't wait. I'm a huge Tesla fan. You do no wrong. So
Do no wrong.
No, they're fantastic. I'm sorry I missed them last week. They were in Dallas last week. I saw they were playing after the fact. So
shame on you,
I know,
Mr. Anderson.
I know. Damn it.
Call yourself a fan.
I know. Look, failed. And welcome back. It is time now for Hitting the Streets. I know, one of our favorite segments here. Always. So what do we got for today?
Today we have Dio, Sacred Heart Tour, live in Philly.
That is kick-ass.
Totally kick-ass. Not as kick-ass as the Dragon.
I know. How cool is that?
The Dragon. How much have we missed the Dragon?
I know. I mean, it's like, it only happened in the 80s. I mean, it looked great back then, but can you imagine seeing that now at a concert?
That'd be baller. I don't give a fuck who you are. That is fucking metal.
It is metal. It is way metal.
That is so
way
metal.
I think the cool thing is, for fans, they released the DVD and the CD at the same time. And this wasn't available in the full show. Before, it was released as like just a partial show. So they finally released it properly, like they should have a long time ago.
Remastered.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, it sounds amazing. It's phenomenal. I cranked it to 11.
To 11?
Yes.
Oh,
my ears were bleeding in a good way. So I've been a Dio fan for years, as sad when he passed, but have some of this come back is really legit, and it's really cool.
And as if like his appearance in Tenacious D doesn't prove how much of a god he is.
Most definitely, yeah. And then we'll be talking about that later on. It's become a Dio Black Sabbath show.
It's a Dio Love Fest.
Yes. Another cool thing is he kind of ran the gamut of the set list. He went from Rainbow all the way through to Black Sabbath and his solo stuff in there. So it's a wide range of songs. It's fun.
For every phase of his life.
Yes.
Good times.
So it's a good hit into the streets this week.
Awesome.
And time now for Record Roundtable. This week we have a very interesting CD.
We got Black Sabbath with the ever popular 3D cover.
That's right. Number 13 is the name of their new album. And it's been a while since they've had any music out together.
38 years?
Crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
I mean, I think they had tried before, but it just didn't work out, and now is the time.
Yeah, I really appreciate that they got back to their roots.
Big time.
The original Sabbath, like we all know, like from the first 5 albums.
Exactly, and I appreciate the same thing because I'm a huge Sabbath fan, and those albums speak to me more than the latter ones, where it's just kind of like almost
going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly.
Releasing an album just to release an album.
Yeah, and like every song was a filler except for maybe one. and this, every song kind of went back to like the very first song of the album kind of takes you back to the first album.
I was about to say, none of them more so than the first one.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that set the tone back in the 70s, or actually late 60s, early 70s, and they captured that again. I mean, I know Rick Rubin helped them bring in, them in, saying, hey, listen to your first 5 albums, where it began, kind of go from there. There's one song on there, reminds me of a song from Master Reality. It has just that vibe, that drum sound. It's like, wow, cool. Why didn't they do this before? But I'm cool with that because it's now.
Right.
And it's
better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. If we had to wait this long for a great album like that, then I'm cool with it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, most definitely. Welcome back. It's now time for Rock Cinema. What we got this week, Domino?
We have the pick of Destiny.
Yes. What a great movie.
By far, one of the best collaborations of Kyle Gass and Jack Black ever to grace the silver screen.
Yes, I agree. It had been a few years since I'd seen it, so I revisited it this last weekend. I forgot what a great movie that is. It's just so out there.
Oh, it's not out there.
It's way out there.
No, maybe when we get to the part where Jack Black is tripping with Sasquatch in the forest, when you can taste the colors, then it gets a little bit out there.
It does.
But it all ties in.
It does. It's a very sweet story.
It's very inspirational.
Yes.
Very inspirational. It just goes to show that if you and your best friend can hitchhike to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and hide out at, the top of Guitar Way to Heaven, then it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
Well worth it. And there were so many cameos.
Oh, some of the best cameos in any rock movie.
Meatloaf, Dio.
Yes.
We got Amy Poehler.
That's right.
In there. Colin Hanks makes a brief cameo as well.
He does.
Then, oh gosh, there's so many more. And there's so many subtle hints to like classic cinema. Like they touch on the Clockwork Orange.
They do. I forgot about that.
They really do.
Yeah.
They give a little shout out to Stanley Kubrick.
They do.
Gotta love that. There's no musical pun left unturned.
That's true.
In that film.
Well, even like with Meatloaf, that whole thing was like a Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that was just so brilliant. That
and they made
that.
it kind of into a musical.
They did.
Almost.
They did, yeah.
Every portion of the movie has its own music and its own theme. And I love how they took a medieval twist and they made like the medieval playing cards.
Right. Yeah, that was just so badass. And seeing Dio too, like as a poster.
Yes, he's coming to life in this kid's room.
I was like, how lucky is that kid?
Right. Well, he's lucky. Meatloaf is his dad, but it just kind of sucks that your dad is Meatloaf and he doesn't understand the need to rock out.
I know, as he should. Yeah, I had such a great time rewatching that. It's so much fun. It's just like so many just like crazy things going on.
Oh yes.
It was great. It's a great movie, and if you've never seen Pick of Destiny, you gotta check it out.
Check it out.
That is 2 horns up from both of us. All right, it's time for the top 3 list. Definitely my favorite segment because I love putting them together. I love hearing what you got too because ours sometimes they're similar, sometimes not so much. We're going to break this one up this time. You're going to do your Ozzy favorite albums. I'm going to do my Black Sabbath favorite albums.
All right, let's do this. Age before beauty.
Okay, my first, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. So my third pick is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And let me tell you, it's really hard for me to decide. I like all their albums. So to narrow those down, especially those first 5, were really tough. So Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, I kind of got into it a little late in the game, but I love it. I think it's just amazing. Across the board, it has a lot of different moods in there, so I like it for that.
Okay.
Number 2 is the first Black Sabbath. There's the first full Black Sabbath album I heard, and it brings back some unusual memories for me, so I like that a lot. That's for a different episode. And then my favorite one, hands down, what got me into Sabbath in the first place was Heaven and Hell with Ronnie Dio. I mean, that is just, from Children of the Sea to the title track, it's in Neon Nights, it's just non-stop rock. So,
which is what you expect.
Exactly, yeah. And so I love that album. So, and yours?
My top 3, I picked my top 3 favorite Ozzy albums, which was really hard for me because I don't know a lot of his music by song title or by album name. I know it just by hearing the songs. So I actually had to sit down and do a little bit of research, but my number 3 pick is going to be Down to Earth, which is when he did the song Dreamer. And another little interesting tidbit about that particular album is that Dave Grohl actually wrote a few of the songs on it.
How cool is that?
That's, it's Dave Grohl. He's extremely talented, and I couldn't think of anybody better to help write some songs on an album for me. My number 2 is going to be No More Tears.
Great album.
Which is, yes, definitely a great album. And these are all just classic Ozzy. It was not that we don't love Ozzy with Sabbath, but it's nice to see Ozzy just doing his own thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
So, we're coming up to my number 1, which is going to be Blizzard of Oz. Yes. Which I know is probably going to be 99% of our viewers' favorite Ozzy album if they have a favorite one. But it's got Crazy Train, which everybody knows that one.
Right.
Little known fact about that song, Crazy Train wasn't actually meant to be a song. It actually started out as finger warm-ups.
Really?
Because we all know the intro, the guitar.
Right.
We all know that sound. That started out as just a way to warm up your fingers, and it turned into Crazy Train.
That's very cool. I had no idea. That's awesome.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Rhoads was amazing.
I
mean, he was a talent. So, I agree with you. I mean, if I were to do my top, Blizzard would be right there. I totally hands down agree with you on that, number one.
But it's tough to pick between Blizzard of Oz and No More Tears.
Yeah, No More Tears. I mean, that's a solid album from beginning to end, from Mr. Tinker Train all the way. I mean, it's just
Mr. Crowley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's both of those albums are really tough. I agree. Good picking.
Thank you.
All right. Hope you dug our top picks this week.
Make sure you go on to Twitter and tweet us your top 3 Ozzy or Black Sabbath albums.
Time now for Concerts of the Week we call Concert Corner.
Thought-provoking name,
yes.
We know.
Well, Thursday on the 20th is a show I can't wait. I'm going to be at is Robert Plant and the Strange
Sensations.
Yes, man, it's going to be fantastic. And I had heard that he's going to be playing 9 Zeppelin songs. So I cannot wait
it's for it. It's going to be like 2.5 hours.
I know. I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, don't burn yourself out all in one night because on Friday night at Verizon Theater we have Cheap Trick. And we all know that they want you to want them.
And that's right. You know why? Because they're also Dream Police.
Exactly.
They will search you out. And Saturday at the Curtain Club, we got a local band, Drag the Water, which is a Pantera tribute band. Great, fantastic. I love that. And also Tejas, and they're fantastic. The show I used to produce, All Jacked Up, they were on the show, and they were a lot of fun. So I may have to go check them out as well.
We're going to finish off the weekend on the 23rd with a really fun band called Metalachi, which is the very first metal mariachi band.
I gotta check that out. That sounds so cool.
That's going to be going down at Trees.
Awesome.
So yeah, definitely a great way to bridge the cultural gap.
Yes. Yeah, no kidding. I think that what an ingenious way of bringing the metal to the masses.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a rock and roll packed weekend for anybody wanting to get out and see a good show.
Definitely, and follow us on Twitter for the shows we may be at.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for checking us out this week on Rock City. Next week, more music news and Megadeth's Super Collider. We'll review that in the Roundtable.
And we're also going to hit you up with some more rock cinema as we critique Lords of Dogtown.
It'll be a great review. And remember to follow us on Twitter.
And check us out on Elysium.com.